Have you ever wondered how fresh, crunchy cucumbers transform into those tangy, salty pickle slices that everyone loves? From a topping on burgers to a side in hot dogs, pickles have become an essential part of American cuisine. And did you know there are factories in the US that produce over 500,000 jars of pickles every single day? 500,000. So how exactly do cucumbers turn into this globally famous side dish? Today, we're going to dive into the cucumber fields, step into the giant salt vats, and uncover the process behind making the perfect pickle. Every jar of pickles starts from a cucumber field, and not just any field makes the cut. In the US regions like California and North Texas especially, the Plainview area have the perfect climate, sandy soil, low humidity, and cool nights, all of which help cucumbers grow strong and fast. Before the seeds are sown, the soil is plowed deeply to make it loose and airy. Then comes the watering, fertilizing. And after that, a high-tech seed planter spreads the seeds evenly across the field and lightly covers them with soil. Within 7 to 10 days, the first green sprouts begin to emerge from the soil, signaling the start of the cucumber's journey. At this point, a tractor is used to clean the weeds until the soil, allowing water to soak deep into the ground to nourish the young plants. All watering here is done through a sprinkler system. The farm uses large water towers that distribute water in a wide circle to ensure every part of the field is evenly watered. One thing you might not expect, bees play a crucial role. Female cucumber flowers only bloom for about 24 hours, and to bear fruit, each flower needs to be visited by a bee at least 10 times. Yes, you heard that right. No bees, no cucumbers. After about 50 days of growth under the golden sun and the care of the farmers, the cucumbers are ready to harvest. And if you think harvesting is a simple task, you might be surprised. Modern cucumber harvesters can gather 50,000 pounds, or over 22 tons of cucumbers per hour. With an extremely clever design, the front of the machine has a sharp blade system that neatly cuts off the stems. Immediately after, a flexible conveyor system wraps around the plant and gently pulls the cucumber into the machine. In the middle of the machine is a special roller system that separates the cucumbers from the vine without crushing them. The cucumbers then fall onto a horizontal conveyor belt, which moves them up onto 2 vertical conveyors on either side of the machine. And finally, they fall into containers above. Meanwhile, large trucks run parallel to the machine, always ready to collect the bins full of cucumbers and transport them straight to the processing plant. But the critical factor here is timing. When the cucumbers reach the standard size, usually between 1.5 to 1.75 inches in diameter, the farmer has just 24 hours to harvest them. Only one night. If left too long, the fruit will grow too large and no longer be suitable for pickling. That's why speed, accuracy, and the smooth coordination between humans and machines are vital. From the fields, the trucks full of fresh cucumbers are driven directly to the plant. This is where the transformation from fresh cucumbers to crunchy, delicious pickles officially begins. When the trucks loaded with fresh cucumbers arrive at the plant, they don't go straight into the salt vats. They need one very important step: first cleaning. The cucumbers are poured onto a massive conveyor system, where high-pressure water jets are sprayed from multiple directions. This water is diluted with a little chlorine, similar to how swimming pools treat water to ensure that any bacteria and dirt are washed away. But machines alone aren't enough. In many plants, workers stand along the conveyor line to manually check and remove any cucumbers that are damaged, cracked, or not up to standard. Next comes the sizing process. Why is this necessary? Because small, medium, and large cucumbers are used for different purposes: sliced, whole pickled, or baby pickles. The cucumbers that meet the standards, clean, undamaged, and the right size, are now ready to begin their new life in the giant salt vats. And this is where the magic happens: the giant salt vats. After being cleaned and sorted, the cucumbers are poured into fiberglass vats, each holding about 45,000 pounds. That's over 20 tons of cucumbers at once. And guess what? There are up to 800 vats like this capable of holding more than 35 million pounds of cucumbers at the same time. The next key ingredient is the soul of the pickle brine. The classic brine recipe is simple but incredibly effective: 10 parts water, 1 part salt, and half a part sugar. Everything is measured, precisely stirred well, and then pumped directly into the vats. When the brine is poured in, the cucumbers naturally float to the top. So large wooden lids are placed on top to keep them fully submerged in the brine, which is crucial for proper fermentation. And then the natural fermentation process begins. In the following weeks, beneficial bacteria like lactobacillus convert the natural sugars in the cucumbers into lactic acid, a natural preservative that gives pickles their signature tangy flavor. The fermentation process usually takes about 3 weeks, and it's especially faster in the summer due to the higher temperatures. After the fermentation process is complete, the cucumbers are sent to the processing plant for the final step: jar packaging. The whole cucumbers are sliced evenly by a machine with twin blades, the kind you often see, creating those ridged patterns on pickle slices. The cucumber slices then move along a vibrating conveyor and are placed into glass jars. If you prefer whole pickles, no slicing is necessary. The whole cucumbers are directly transferred to the jar filling conveyor. Meanwhile, the glass jars are sterilized and prepped on the line. The whole cucumbers are placed into the jars by an automated system, ensuring that each jar is filled evenly, not too tight, not too loose, giving it a perfect look even before you open the lid. Next comes a crucial flavor step: pouring in the newly prepared brine with special seasonings. The jars are then sent to the lid sealing station, where they are vacuum sealed. Once the lid is tightly screwed on, a burst of hot air is injected to create a pressure difference, ensuring the jar is fully sealed and creating that familiar pop when you open it for the first time. Finally, the jars of pickles pass through a heat pasteurization tunnel, where they are heated to over 100 degrees for a short period to kill any remaining bacteria. Afterward, they are quickly cooled in cold water, keeping the cucumbers crispy and the flavor stable. The jars are labeled, boxed, and prepared for distribution to supermarkets across the US. Do you think all pickles take weeks to ferment? Not necessarily. With modern production technology, many factories in the US are now using a quick pickling method. It only takes 3 to 5 days to create a delicious jar of pickles ready to hit the supermarket shelves. So how do they do it? First, the fresh cucumbers are washed clean and briefly blanched in hot water for about 1 to 2 minutes. This process not only kills bacteria, but also helps preserve the cucumber's natural crunch. Afterward, they're quickly cooled with cold water like a shock to preserve their texture, then immediately moved to the jar filling area. Meanwhile, the glass jars are prepped with signature seasonings like garlic dill mustard seeds, chili, or shallots, depending on each brand's recipe. The cucumbers are carefully hand-packed into the jars as they're still firm and haven't softened yet. Then a vinegar brine is poured into the jars, soaking the cucumbers in rich flavor. The jars are sealed tight and sent to a quick pasteurization station, where they're hot water bathed to ensure food safety. And just after a few days, boom! The pickles are ready to ship out, fast, convenient, and still crisp in every slice. So you've just journeyed with us through the entire magical process. From those tiny seeds in the fields to the crispy, flavorful jars of pickles, all ready for you to pop open and hear that satisfying pop sound. From the traditional 3-week fermentation method to the quick pickling technique that only takes a few days, every jar of pickles tells a story of technology, agriculture, and a little love for this iconic side dish. Pickles don't just make burgers taste better, they also promote a healthy digestive system, provide natural probiotics, and sometimes just one small slice is enough to make an ordinary meal feel special. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. And hey, in the comments share with us, how do you like your pickles, whole thin slices or extra sour? Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next culinary journey.